1995, Crystal Springs, Florida. 2 elderly victims shot point blank in the head. 84-year-old Maud Bailey and her caretaker, 50-year-old Alice Durfee. Who could murder 2 defenseless women execution style? This man, 25-year-old Earl Limbball, and this woman, 28-year-old Melissa Harris. Both are found guilty of murder and given consecutive life terms. But this story may not be everything it appears. Melissa says not only is she innocent, she's a victim herself. Could that be possible? I've come to the Lowell Correctional Institution in Florida to find out. I'm Candace DeLong. As an FBI agent, I worked on the front line for the world's most powerful law enforcement agency. I went undercover, I trailed terrorists, and I interviewed notorious killers. It's my job to understand the people who others cannot comprehend.
Melissa, the name of the show is Facing Evil, and you've done that in your life.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
What evil did you face?
I faced Earl Limbball.
Is that why you're here?
Yes, ma'am, that's why I sit in prison today.
How did you get along with your folks?
I got along very well with my folks. I was the youngest, and in a lot of ways I was spoiled, but I tried real hard. I stayed in school, you know, got good grades and stuff like that. But
what kind of student were you?
I was a good student. One of my first aspirations was to be a lawyer. I enjoyed studying, and when I was 16, all I wanted for Christmas that year was the Black Law Dictionary. And that's what I got for Christmas that year. So.
But something happened. You did not become a lawyer.
No, I did not become a lawyer.
Instead, Melissa goes boy crazy, dropping out of school, jumping in to marriage and motherhood. The marriage ends in disaster and divorce. Then, at 28, the single mother of 3 goes on a date with a young man named Earl Limbball.
Went home and told Mom and Dad I was excited to have this date. We just had a nice conversation. It was very pleasant. He was just so nice to be around. Felt absolutely wonderful. The first time we went out, he opened my car door, and I was like, wow, I didn't know men did that. So that was cool. That was very nice.
So you were impressed?
I was impressed, but I definitely went too quick. The time we met to the time we were living together, it was probably a couple months.
That is quick.
She's so impressed that when she learns that he's on parole for kidnapping and burglary, it doesn't seem to bother her. Earl and Melissa move in together right next door to her mother in Tyler, Texas.
Earl became very possessive. He would get angry if I would go next door to my mom's house because my time should be spent at home. Now, these were my parents. The more I would try to see them, the more he would get angry.
And when he got angry, what would he do or say?
He pushed me. He would physically restrain me. I was going over to Mom's, and I was going to do laundry. And he pushed me, and he told me no. He said, "You're not going over there."
You're lying to me.
He called me ugly names like bitch and stuff. You know, "You're not going over there, bitch. You're staying here. This is where you live." And that's when I really started I'm like, this isn't right.
The tension rises a few months later when Earl wants everyone to move to Arizona to join a survivalist camp. It's too much for Melissa. The night before they are due to leave, she tries to pull the plug.
I tell Earl, I said, "Listen, you know, I love you, but I can't do this right now." I don't know exactly what I said. I tried to make it sound wonderful, you know, that I wasn't leaving them forever, but that I was going back to live with my mom.
How do you take it?
That night, Earl tied me up. Earl raped me.
Had he ever been violent sexually,
not sexually
before?
No. That was my first violent ever, like nothing.
How did he tie you up?
With ropes over my head.
You tie your hands?
My hands, like this, over my head. I don't know, I've been through a lot, but that was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life.
A Florida court found Melissa Harris guilty of double felony murder in 1997. But she's blaming the crimes on her violent boyfriend, Earl Limbball. He's out on parole for robbery and kidnapping when he demands that Melissa and her children move to Arizona. It's a violation of his parole, but Earl won't take no for an answer, even threatening Melissa's son.
Earl grabs him. And he says, "Come on, son." And he puts a gun to his head. And he tells me if I don't pack the house and leave and to leave Texas today, he's gonna kill him. And he's 4.
I'm a mom, too.
He's a baby.
Did it cross your mind to call the police?
It crossed my mind to call the police. It crossed my mind to call my daddy. It crossed my mind to call my mama. I didn't know what to do. He had my son. And I don't know, there was a look in his eye that I had no doubt he was gonna kill my son. But I had no doubt that that man was a monster and he was gonna kill my son if I didn't do exactly what he said.
I believe Melissa. She is genuinely reliving that moment. I don't doubt she left with Earl to protect her children. Many mothers would do the same. Earl wants the family to live in a survivalist camp, but Melissa is desperate to get her kids to safety.
I literally get on my knees and I beg this man. I said, "Listen, I will stay with you. I will love you forever. Let the kids go. Just let the kids go." The only person I have outside of Texas is my sister who lives in Florida. I begged him. I said, "Please, let's take the kids to my sister."
And did that happen?
Yes.
After leaving the children at Melissa's sister's house, Earl becomes paranoid about the police. He abandons their overdue rental car, and he and Melissa proceed on foot.
And so we're walking on the highway. I don't even know where we're at. This highway patrolman, he pulls us over. And he says, "You can't walk on a state highway in the state of Florida." Earl's doing all the talking, and he's like, "We didn't know that." I've been crying. I just left my children at my sister's house. I don't know what's going on. This is the first time in my life I've left my children like that. And this man, he says, "Are you okay, miss?" I said, "Okay, I'm okay, but I'm away from my children. I'm missing my children because I can't stop crying." And he says, why don't I give you all a lift to the county line? So we get in the back of this highway patrolman's car. The man's looking at me. He's got this, I won't ever forget, he's got this little picture of his daughter on his dashboard. Earl's sitting beside me, and he's got a hand in his coat pocket. He's wearing a coat.
What was in his pocket?
A pistol. He's got it right there in his coat pocket. And the man's talking about his daughter. Earl's talking to the man. And I'm thinking, what can I do? If I say anything to this man, he's gonna run off the road. Earl's gonna shoot him. I'm just going back and forth in my head the whole time. What can I do? What can I do? How can I let this man know that he needs to stop this now?
Did you consider saying to him, help? This man is abducting me and...
I thought about it and was too scared to do it.
At her trial, prosecutors argued Melissa's inaction showed she was with Earl willingly. But I believe she was trying to save herself and the patrolman who drops them at the state border. That was a fork in the road for Melissa. She just set herself on a course to disaster.
Finally, we're in this residential area. And he says, we're gonna have to take somebody's car. We're gonna have to rob somebody and take the car. So he sees this house.
What did you think of that?
Candace, I can't even tell you. I'm thinking, rob somebody. Never done anything like that, never. I'm like, I don't want to die. And I know if I run from Earl, I'm gonna die. But I'm not thinking it through either. There's no way my head's logical.
But you did believe he would kill you?
I did. I had no doubt.
In November 1995, Melissa Harris approaches the home of two elderly women in Florida. Her boyfriend, Earl Limbball, is at her side. She knows he intends to rob the women, but she's telling me now that she had no idea what was about to happen next.
The lady answers the door, and all I remember is him slamming the door open and yelling at the lady who answered the door to get in the house, get back, get back, get back. The gun's out. Okay, so there's no doubt now he's got a gun. And these are two elderly women. There's no reason to, and he's got, so he's yelling, now he's yelling at me. Go back in the house and see what you can find. Clothes, food, whatever. What I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm looking for. So I walk by and he's yelling at the lady who answered the door to get on the floor. Get on the floor, get on the floor, get on the floor. I'm like, and he's telling me, just get some clothes, just get some clothes. Okay. So I go to the back of the house. I pass the lady on the floor and the lady here's in the wheelchair. And I'm going through their things, like in a dresser or something. I don't know what to take, so I'm not taking anything. He's as calm as he can be when he says, Missy, just come to the kitchen and get some food. He's like, the whole demeanor just changed. I remember opening the refrigerator. And I hear a gunshot. One gunshot.
What did you think?
I thought, oh my God, he just killed somebody. That's what I thought, because I knew then that somebody had died. There was no reason this lady was laying on the floor. There's no reason to hurt her. It's like, Missy, get out of the house. Get out of the house. So he's screaming again. So I come this way. There's this lady here in a wheelchair.
The wheelchair-bound elderly woman.
And he's standing behind her with a gun to his head.
A gun to her head?
With a gun to her head. I leave the house. When I'm outside, I hear another gunshot. And I'm like, oh my God. And Next thing you know, he's barreling out of the house, yelling at me to get in the car, get in the car, get in the car.
That is Melissa's version. There was, in fact, a third shot. Maud's body had one bullet wound, but the first victim, Alice, had two. Prosecutors maintain Melissa fired that second shot into Alice.
The autopsy revealed there were a total of 3 bullets.
Yes, ma'am, I know that.
You know this? What do you think of that?
I have no idea. When I tell you I was in shock, I mean, I don't know a better word for that. I don't know if I didn't hear it, if he fired 2 at once, you know what I'm saying, back to back, and I just heard the one, I don't know, but I just heard the 2 shots.
When Melissa and Earl are stopped at the Canadian border, a .22 pistol is found in their car. Forensic reports prove it fired 1 shot into each victim. Then a second gun is discovered, hidden down the front of Melissa's underpants, and it is shown to have fired that mysterious third shot. What can't be proven is when the shot was fired or who pulled the trigger. One day after the murder of 2 defenseless women in Crystal Springs, Florida, Earl Limbball and Melissa Harris are arrested at the Canadian border. Melissa insists she's in fear for her life. But at the same time, she's carrying a gun that was used in the murder. Melissa is telling me now that she never saw this gun until after the killings.
We're in a motel, and we're supposed to be taking a shower, washing off, changing clothes. And he takes a gun, gives me the gun and says I'm supposed to have his back.
Okay, how about pointing the gun at the back of his head?
It was a thought. It was a thought. As soon as he put that gun in my hand, I'm sitting there shaking. To me, this is a ploy. This is a test. There's no way this gun is loaded. He's checking me out. He's gonna see if I'm gonna point this at the back of his head and try to kill him. That's all that was. And I still swear to God that to this day, that's all that was.
But authorities are convinced Melissa was Earl's willing accomplice, perhaps even a killer herself. And in 1997, a jury agrees.
Despite your pleas of innocence, that you'd been kidnapped by a monster who threatened to kill your son and you, the jury didn't believe you.
No, ma'am.
Did you fire any rounds at either of those 2 women?
No, ma'am, I did not. No, ma'am. I did not shoot anyone. There's a lot I don't remember about that trip from Florida to Canada. A lot I don't remember after seeing what I saw. 2 people murdered in cold blood. There's a lot of things I don't remember, but I remember being in that house and I remember what happened. I also know that I could never point a gun at somebody and kill them, just like that. There's no way.
I want you to imagine that I am Alice. And Maud, what would you like to say to me?
Oh my God. I am so sorry. If there was anything I could do to take it all back, I would. I would have died to let you live. If killing me would have stopped you from dying. And I'm so sorry to you, and I'm so sorry to your family. I wish to God I could replay the whole thing. I swear to God, I didn't know you were gonna lose your life when I went into that house. And I'm so sorry.
I want you to imagine that I am Earl. What would you like to say to me?
you're the personification of evil, and I hate you. And I hate what you've done, and I hate the lives you've destroyed, including those of Miss Alice Derby and those of Miss Bailey, and my life and the lives of my children. And I hate you for what you've done.
Is Melissa Harris a cold-hearted killer? Or another of Earl Limbball's victims? After 18 years behind bars, I think Melissa has served enough time. She was once a scared young woman caught up with a violent man who thought he could take anything he wanted. Earl took Melissa on a road trip to hell and left her there.